Okay, so we're gonna start trying to fix this part of the wheel well. I believe I don't know how far up I'll go. If it works out well, I might take it up to here, but I really just assume not because it's actually fine metal there. It's just a bigger hole. So I think I'll probably leave them and really bring it to here. I'm going to take this. Sorry, I wasn't even looking at the camera. I'm going to take this piece out. Have to just remove it at least temporarily. And same thing on this side because it's the only way to get this transmission tunnel in there. I mean, not transmission tunnel, excuse me, the transition pan in there. And what's even more, because of this lip, how it comes down and dives down, the width of this from the top rolled edge to side is wider than this point here to this point here. It is the same width of down here, because it rolls in down here to down here. So how do you get it in? You can't like roll it in or something like that. It just doesn't work. Not without taking this out, which we're not doing. So I think what I got to do is pick one side or the other, but kind of do some measurement and take this and basically take like the piece sitting in. Oh, I kind of got these sitting in place, but anyways, take the panel and split it right here along the seam, probably to about this point, maybe not quite that far, so that I can kind of push it in, get it to go down, and then go back. Right, once I kind of just make this space not as wide. When I do that, hopefully I can get it back down with spot weld just like it was, but I'll just have to stitch this cut that I make back together. Shouldn't be terrible. Haven't got to that, but before I do any of that, I want to get to that really quick here. But I gotta fix this part of the wheel well, at least from this point. Right here is good metal, but from this point all the way or down and around, and of course there's just a wide open hole here. I can barely see a little bit of the lips. At least I have something. I have a reference point. I just have to make a connection from here to here, imaginary, right? Come around here. Even this piece is actually fine. This piece right here, I actually thought at first it was just wider and part of the wheel well, but it's not. I mean, you can see it over here better. The nice thing is I have a decent reference point over here also, the light on it. So, it's a separate piece. It's part of that. I don't know where it's coming from. It's not the inner rocker, but it's definitely three pieces of metal there. You got the inner rocker. You have this piece rolling around. I'll figure out what that is, and then the wheel well. So the wheel well just kind of rolls around. This is not bad on this side though. It's dented in. I got to bang that out. A little hammer dolly work, but that side is fine. This side, not so much. I have to work at a flashlight. I mean, I have lights in the garage. It's not bad, but there's no lights inside. I mean, I got a stupid roof here. You know what I mean? I can't see anything, so I'm always working in the dark. Can't wait to get the floor done so I can get out of the dark a little bit. But that's going to be the project. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come from this point first and come around to, around in here, around, just south of here, right in this area. And I'm going to replace that first, and then come back with another piece and bring it in here. And so I'll probably do this in at least two pieces. I think that's the plan, and that's what we're going to start working on. Oh crap, I just looked up in here. I got to bring it kind of high because see, there's a hole up in here that I need to deal with. See it? So I got to catch that too, which is going to be a real pain to work with. Inner rocker's fine. I'll have to definitely get up in here some though, all the way around. That's where the bad metal is. So yeah, it is what it is. I think I can do it. It's just going to take some manipulating and getting it going. So, bring it back when I got something to show you. Okay, so, I got my little cheapy, super cheapy, holy crap, cheapy little set of hammer and dollies. But, whatever. It does help you bend metal and stuff. You can see it a little bit. Kind of hard to see it in the picture here, but I do have a roll where it rolls down into here, right? And it's only up to this point, so it's kind of recreating a line that's across the top here. That's across the top here. I'll set it in place in a second, but it rolls in right here. This is where that roll is. So I'm trying to recreate that roll, and that roll comes to this point, and then there's no more roll over here. So it's only up to this point. That's why, I came in here and put a line there. So I got a pretty decent little bend right here. It's not hard, but it's just, that's the corner, because this is now straight from here to here. And so what we're planning to do is going from this point up to this point. And this is that piece of metal. The very bottom is actually right there at the Sharpie line itself, so I went a little bit beyond. And so you can kind of see it rolling up, matching that. So I just put me a Sharpie line across this area where the bend is, so I can kind of catch that measurement and catch this spot, this know how wide this spot is in here, so I could kind of recreate that in here. And it's definitely not going to ever be as good of a roll, but hey, here we go. Let's show you what we got going on here. So we can see that it's pretty daggone close, right? I'm gonna put this in, I think, from the other side though. That's what I need to do, not from the front side, because it really goes on the back side of this piece and this piece, which is the inner rocker there. So I got to go around the other side and start cutting some of that out. But not bad. We'll see. At least I've started to make a shape. I mean, it's something that we've begun to do something. It's a little long. After it's all put in, I'll come back and actually, trim from the inside to where it needs to be. This line. It's not really rolled or anything here, so maybe a little bit of a roll up in there, but it's not much. So it just kind of goes straight from this point. Of course, I'm missing this and rolls around. So it'll put this piece in here, and then I'll come back and we'll put just another small piece in here. So we'll just try to do it in two pieces. Even this, it's pretty tough to get even this much in one single piece of metal. I think this is 18 gauge metal, which is nice to work with because it's thicker, that might be 18 there. Really, it's kind of hard to measure it, being that it's so old. Once I cut it up in here, I can probably look at that good clean metal and tell. I don't remember if I even checked that before, but so I don't know. It might be something more like 20 gauge. I'm not sure. It's hard to tell, but 18 is going in. That's what we're working with. It's a little harder to bend and manipulate, but at the same time, sturdy and steady, and I've got it good enough, so I think it'll work. We'll bring it back and show you what I got going on in a few. Okay, so this is what we move the light out of the way a little bit. So I've cut this piece out, kind of bent the outer wheel well. There's a tab that goes over. I've bent that out of the way. I'm gonna clean out in that rocker a little bit since I got it open. It's just some dirt and crap in there, so we'll get that out right now. But we're getting ready to come in here and kind of drop this in place. We'll drop a couple plug welds in against that inner rocker brace, and this will come in, and then we'll end up butt welding all over across there. Put me a little witness mark there. I was going to do like cutting butt thing, but I was having a hard time figuring out how to do it, so I was like, I'm just going to do the butt. I'm not going to be a cut and butt. I cut and then I'm butting, so that's what we're doing here on this, especially being that it's not finished work, but this should be pretty good. I got a decent little bend in it following it, and I think this will work. So I'll bring it back when I'm getting ready to burn a little bit of metal, or after I burnt a little bit of metal. Okay, nothing pretty, but there's the first pass, and one little hole. I got to deal with that. I'll get that little hole, no problem. But just starting to get it stitched in here. From about this point is where I'll start to cut it out again. So actually, I'll end up cutting out some of this metal again, obviously, but that'll be the second piece. But I'm gonna finish this piece up first, but I gotta grind this off and then get this plate back over now. Oh, pretty grinding. So now we can push this over and you know, I'm getting here and beat this into submission now. Okay, so that's all back together and she's solid now. All that stuff is fixed, no more holes up here. You know, it's not like finished paint finished, but it's good, it's solid. It's fine for especially undercoat and all that stuff going on later. So this is good. I got to trim in here a little bit, but I won't do any of that right now until I come back up to it from this point down. But that's a much easier piece to kind of deal with. It's kind of straight. There's no real crazy bends to it. I should be able to just kind of cut right up in here, and you know, shouldn't be that bad. I can cut right down in here. And I think, I don't know where exactly it'll come out, but I'll have to, you know, trim it. This will be trimmed somewhere in here, so it'll come back over to this point. But anyways, I'll probably actually, I don't know what I'll end up doing here. Maybe I'll just end up cutting right here, or maybe this piece should have come out further. I don't know. That's just what it looks like it should have done now. But that ain't what we're working with. So we might have to come in here and kind of cut back and cut this actually good piece out and then add a whole piece up in here. But we'll figure that out. That's probably a tomorrow project because it's time to get in and clean up and do some other stuff. But I'm pretty happy with that. That's a pretty sharp repair. Definitely gonna be solid. You know, it's a lot more going on here than it was over here with this one. But you know, they're all done now, so that's good. I gotta deal with this right there. That's gonna be part 3 of this saga. This is part 1, part 2.1, 2.2, and then part 3. You know, that's what it is. Okay, so this part of the repair is done. Came back in and added the second piece in here. Filled up a nasty little hole that was up in here. Those holes over there, I'm not gonna worry about yet. I'm gonna wait until the floor actually gets in place and we'll kind of see from there. I can fill it in after the fact with the floor being going in too. But I'm not going to do much more. I did remove this little section in here. You can see it's kind of down over here. That's the piece that this package tray support goes up to. I just bent that up out of the place. I'll pull that back down and kind of hammer dolly it in place. I was going to take it all out, and you can see where I've started doing stuff, but I'm like, no, I'm stopping. I'm actually leave that in place. I don't need to take that out. So, but I did take this piece out. Hopefully I don't have to take the seat bracket out. I don't think I will have to get this transition pan in place, but I think everything else is, you know, this is cleaned up and ready for the, you know, I'm actually going to reuse this piece and go right back in here with it. It'll just, you know, it'll go clean, but back up in there. So that'll work. Just re-weld that after the transition pan's in place. We'll hang there right there. So that side's good. This side now, it's pretty good. I'm gonna hammer dolly work a little bit right here. I got a dent, and I'm just gonna clean this area up. But this side was always much better. I got to cut this piece out, you know, right in here. So kind of do the same thing I have to do on the other side, and then I can start fitting this transition pan in place. That's going to be a bear still to get it in there, but I think I'll have everything out of the way and ready. So that's it.